What if Scovillain was in Gen 1 OU? Now, I can't be the only one who waited years for a grass fire type. Same way how I can't be the only one who waited for an ice fire type for so many years. And I'm really glad that these newer generations have finally given us that. I really wish I can go over Ogerpon, Heat Flame, or whatever it's called. But unfortunately, Ogerpon is just actually dog water in Gen 1 OU. Like, its signature move, I'm pretty sure doesn't work. And the best normal move it would have would be Takedown. Yeah, so don't go asking for a Ogerpon video anytime soon, because you will be disappointed. But we have the next best thing, and that is a fucking little dude. I talked about this with my brother Convex, but he really looks like a Pokemon that should evolve. He looks like a middle stage. But luckily, that doesn't have anything to do with how good he would be in Gen 1 OU. And luckily, being a Fire Grass type is actually really good and really unique. Neither of those types are really OU, outside of Executor or occasionally seeing Moltres. However, that does not mean it's bad. Contrary to popular belief, like, Fire types are pretty good. Unlike some other types, they actually have really good stab. So, a Fire type being an OU is not unreasonable in the slightest. And for Scovillain here, he has a lot of really neat traits that set him apart. For one, he has Super Fang, so that alone would already give him a really good niche. Would Raticate have a job though? Let me look at Raticate again. Raticate is faster and actually has normal stab, so probably not. Raticate would probably still have a niche, but still, Scovillain would definitely be the best Super Fang user by far. With base 75 speed, not only do you outspeed Cloyster, which as you can imagine is pretty huge, but that also means your Razor Leaf is a guaranteed crit. You have Fire Blast, and Fire Blast with a 30% chance to burn is absolutely huge. And then you have Growth. Growth in Gen 1 is basically Calm Mind. While it won't do anything for Razor Leaf, it will most certainly make your Fire Blast absolutely do massive damage. And if you use Growth with Fire Blast, and if you have Super Fang up, it can allow you to potentially even face the bulky special Psychic types. It's not guaranteed. They have great bulk, they have recovery, they have Psychic and crits. You're not defenseless against them. And against the normal types, as well as, well, not so much Rhydon because you have Razor Leaf for it. For the normal types like Tauros and Snorlax, you have Fire Blast, which they absolutely fear. And you have a critical Razor Leaf for Pokemon like Cloyster, Slowbro, and to a less degree Starmie. You have good attacking sets too for the time. That's higher attack and special attack as Starmie and Tauros. Some other moves you have would be Hyper Beam and I think Leech Seed, but neither of them are good whatsoever. Hyper Beam sounds promising. A really strong physical move that you can use on Chansey, and if you get a crit, you can do a lot of damage. However, you need the crit to actually do any significant damage. Chansey most likely will survive your Hyper Beam, and you're not going to survive 2 Ice Beams. The Chansey matchup in general is a really bad one for you, but I honestly think you're better off just going for Growth so that you can take the Ice Beams a little bit better, and using Super Fang to bring her health down by half. I don't think there's any point in using Hyper Beam. It just doesn't seem worth it. But outside of that, everything else is about what you would expect. Decently fast, has good attack, not so great in bulk, but that's a fair trade. We'll just get into the replay, shall we? Alright, starting off with the boy himself, Tauros. Tauros has Blizzard, which 2-hit kills you, which is really unfortunate. So even if you manage to burn the Tauros with Fire Blast, they can still 2-hit KO you, they can still one-shot you with a crit, but at the same time you can one-shot them with a crit. And a burn would still cripple Tauros against anything else, so I'm going to call the match it could go either way. Now, if Snorlax manages to body slam you and then hyper beam you and he's not burned, he can kill you. So the match is nowhere near as free as it might look right here. But still, overall, against physical attack and Snorlax sets, you don't really have it that bad. Snorlax is terrified of a Fire Blast burn, and you also have Super Fang to lower their HP in half, so you don't even have to waste Fire Blast power points, which is really handy. But what about Amnesia? Well, it's a lot more dangerous with Amnesia, since they almost always have ice moves. But luckily, you can also use Super Fang to kind of force them to heal. Because even if they kill you, it won't be that much worth it if they just get revenge code by something else. So I think Scovillain's going to have opportunities to set up its growths and lower their HP even more. However, it's not guaranteed. And if the Snorlax really wants to be aggressive, they can kill you very easily. And Razor Leaf only does a third. So you kind of have to just go for Powered Up Fire Blast in order to actually kill it. Which might work, but it can also miss. So this could go either way. I think with physical Snorlax, it definitely leans towards Scovillain's favor. But for Amnesia Wax, I think it leans towards Amnesia Wax's favor. I already talked about the Chansey matchup a little bit, but here you're going to see it in action. With Growth, Ice Beam becomes a 3-hit KO. So that's nice, I guess. So would that really be better than going for Super Fang and then trying to hope you get a crit with Hyper Beam? Doesn't sound better. The Chansey matchup should just be avoided in general. But the Chansey's paralyzed, and if it's low on HP, I still would rather just go for Growth, because that would just help you sweep in general. Not like Growth is only good against Chansey, it's good against pretty much everything. And then Cloyster. You can 2-shot Cloyster, but they can 2-shot you. You really wish that Razor Leaf was a guaranteed kill, but it's not. So this is a massive could go either way. Any chip damage on either one of them could basically spell doom. And Cloyster basically has your crit rate too. He's only 5 base speed slower than you. So Cloyster crits, you are screwed. And I forgot the Alakazam replay, you'll have to see it later. So for now, Eggy. Eggy is super funny. So without Sleep Claws, it's basically useless, because even if it manages to get a special drop, Scovillain can always just build it back up, assuming it didn't build up already. So you just have a great matchup against Exeggutor, for all intents and purposes. And it's real easy to make sure something else goes to sleep before you switch in Scovillain. And then Gengar's just annoying. It has good special bulk, so you kind of have to go for Growth. Granted, while I didn't do it here, technically, what's it called? Super Fang does work on Gengar. So that's probably what you would use, like, most realistically. But even then, going for a Super Fang, by the way, here's a replay where there's Sleep Claws. But even assuming you go for Super Fang, you go for Growth, because you still need Growth for Fire Blast to be a 2-hit KO, I believe. That's still 3 different turns. Gengar's got a lot of opportunities to do stuff to you. I had this like could go the way eventually, like at the start, but now I'm starting to feel like this might need to be a bad matchup for all intents and purposes. Because if Gengar also like has Psychic, that's so much worse for you. And this Reaper was funny, but I think this was just a case of Jolteon getting lucky. Because I'm surprised the Critical Thunderbolt is a 3-hit KO. But I didn't let that cloud my judgment. I almost put this in could go either way, but I'm like, wait, no, Jolteon having a could go either way against a grass type is kind of silly. So this is a good matchup, I think. Now this is where I did the Alakazam replay. It was a crit, but then I kind of figured to myself, unlike the other psychic types, Alakazam is the most especially bulky. It can use Recover. And as you saw there, its crit can always OHKO Scovillain. So growths don't even matter. So I think that's just a terrible matchup no matter what. Now Jinx, this one really surprised me. but Blizzard just kills. Maybe if the Jinx is paralyzed or something, but I just think it's an unwinnable matchup. I'm not sure why you would want to risk that, despite being a fire type. Now, Rhydon, this one is equally surprising. Yeah, that's right, it kills. But here's a question for you. Don't go on the damage calculator. Do you know exactly how much damage it does on both a low roll and a high roll? Like, give me your guesses in the comments below. And by the way, while you're doing that, did you know that most of you aren't subscribed? I'm trying to make it to 1,000 subscribers by the end of April, and we are currently at 945. Check down, see if you liked the video, see if you subscribed, and if you didn't, just do it right now. Like, what do you have to lose from liking and subscribing? Probably not. You're not like Rhydon, who had everything to lose from that critical Razor Leaf. Just do it. It'll help me out a lot. Thank you. Unless you didn't do it, then I hate you. And Swellbro here is going to demonstrate what happens to non-subscribers. They just get absolutely obliterated by Scovillain's Razor Leaf. Maybe going for paralysis was the right call, but even then, what does Swellbro do? Rest? Can't go for amnesia? Hit a neutral surf? Yeah, that's going to go great for you. Now, Starmie is a pretty obvious could go either way. Both Blizzard and Razor Leaf do a lot of damage to each other, but it's only a 2-hit KO. It's maybe so slightly in Starmie's favor, since Starmie can always crit every once in a while. But Starmie also gets paralyzed a lot, so who really knows? And last but not least, we have Zapdos. Drill Peck does a lot of damage, but you can burn it. That's true, but unfortunately for you, Buckaroo, Drill Peck kills anyways. So just not good at all. Alright, I think I need to change this tier list a little bit. This probably needs to go in unwinnable. This probably needs to go in bad. But everything else I feel pretty good with. You guys can maybe convince me to change them. Oh wait, no. I forgot Chansey also needs to be in bad. But outside of that, I feel pretty good about this. Granted, there's more things in the bad matchups than there are in the good. But it's only by one. It's not really a big deal. And even then, Gengar could be seen as could go either way. So overall, Scovillain, I think it definitely would be an OU Pokemon. But I don't think it would be a better grass type than Exeggutor. At least in my opinion. What do you think? Do you think Scovillain would be really good? Do you think it would be underused? If it wasn't underused, how do you think it would do there? There's a lot of water types, which is both a blessing and a curse. Fire doesn't hurt as much. But you do have a lot of strong Razor Leaves. Can also work on Dugtrio. Not to mention, Fire Blast is really scary for our normal types. There's a lot to talk about there. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Let me know what Pokemon you want to see next. I'm probably going to do Shaven Sky and Jalen Ubers next, so that should be fun. But until next time, this is Groundback, and I look forward to hearing from you.